In recent years, the security dynamics in the Indo-Pacific region have entered a new phase, driven by rapid advancements in military technology and evolving national defense strategies. The growing attention from global observers is particularly focused on the military posture of China and Japan, two countries whose intertwined history and current rivalry shape the contours of regional security today. According to Japan's Ministry of Defense, by early 2025, China's People's Liberation Army Navy, PLAN, operates an estimated 1,688 fourth and fifth generation fighter aircraft. This figure reflects an increase of 80 aircraft over the previous year and underscores Beijing's sustained investment in air power modernization. These numbers, while contested by some independent analysts, offer a sense of the growing capabilities of China's aerospace industry. The report categorizes China's aerial fleet as comprising a wide array of domestically produced aircraft: 200 J-20 stealth fighters, approximately 292 J-16 multi-role fighters, around 60 carrier-based J-15s, nearly 588 J-10s, 327 J-11s, and several imported Russian aircraft, 97 Su-30s and 24 Su-35S fighters. While discrepancies in exact numbers remain, the broad consensus is that China is producing fighter aircraft at a pace unmatched by its regional neighbors. Estimates suggest an annual production capacity of 150 or more jets, supported by recent expansions of key aviation manufacturing facilities such as Xinfei. Japan's concern lies not only in the quantity of China's aircraft but also in the strategic implications of their deployment. With a total of about 330 combat-ready fighter aircraft, the Japan Air Self-Defense Force (JSDF) maintains a fleet that includes legacy F-15s, newer F-35As, and a modest number of F-2 multi-role fighters. Comparatively, the scale of China's air forces may appear overwhelming, though military analysts caution against relying solely on numerical comparisons without factoring in training, logistics, and technological integration. Nevertheless, Japan's recently released defense white paper repeatedly highlights what it calls the China threat, a phrase reportedly used over 60 times throughout the document. This repetition underscores Tokyo's growing anxiety over the shifting power balance in East Asia and its desire to strengthen deterrence capabilities. In a broader sense, this concern reflects Japan's increasing willingness to confront regional challenges more proactively, moving beyond the constraints imposed by its post-World War II pacifist constitution. Japan's concerns are not emerging in a vacuum. Since the end of the Second World War, Japan has relied heavily on its alliance with the United States for national security. While officially prohibited from possessing a traditional military force under Article 9 of its constitution, Japan has incrementally expanded the scope and capabilities of its self-defense forces. Over the past 2 decades, Tokyo has launched a series of reforms aimed at enabling a more assertive security posture, including the reinterpretation of constitutional limits and increased participation in regional security dialogues. The cultural and historical backdrop also adds complexity. Some in Japan still struggle with the legacy of the Pacific War, while in China memories of that era remain vivid and politically charged. Periodic visits by Japanese political figures to the Yasukuni Shrine, which honors those who died in war, including convicted war criminals, often provoke condemnation from neighboring countries, particularly China and South Korea. In this historical context, military expansion, whether symbolic or strategic, can take on layers of meaning. Chinese policymakers have repeatedly framed their military modernization as a sovereign right, rooted in the necessity of safeguarding national interests and territorial integrity. From Beijing's perspective, the country's growing defense capabilities are meant to support national rejuvenation, deter external threats, and ensure regional stability through strength. To some observers, the growing focus on air power suggests a budding arms race in East Asia. Japan's decision to invest in sixth-generation fighter technology, enhance missile defense capabilities, and expand joint exercises with the United States and other partners indicates a shift toward greater strategic independence. In parallel, China's defense industry has matured at a pace that has surprised even seasoned analysts, aided by state-driven innovation and substantial investment. Critics argue that this back-and-forth military expansion could exacerbate tensions and reduce opportunities for diplomatic resolution. However, proponents of military preparedness contend that a robust defense capability is necessary to ensure a credible deterrent, especially amid rising uncertainties in the global order. The United States plays a pivotal role in this equation. As Japan's primary security guarantor, Washington has continued to deepen defense cooperation through arms sales, intelligence sharing, and rotational troop deployments. Yet, some within the U.S. policy community worry that overly aggressive regional posturing either from Tokyo or Beijing could entangle the U.S. in unintended conflicts or further destabilize the Indo-Pacific. Air power has become a central pillar of modern military strategy, and China's efforts in this area reflect a broader transition toward a force structure capable of joint operations, maritime control, and long-range precision strike capabilities. The development of stealth aircraft such as the J-20, alongside continued investment in electronic warfare and airborne early warning systems, points to an emphasis on gaining operational advantage in contested environments. Japan, meanwhile, is betting on technological superiority and interoperability. Its acquisition of F-35 fighters and continued collaboration with US and UK defense contractors on future air systems demonstrate an intent to maintain qualitative edge despite its numerical inferiority. However, these efforts come with significant costs. The Japanese government has pledged to increase defense spending to 2% of GDP, equivalent to over $70 billion by 2027, a dramatic rise in a country historically hesitant to embrace militarization. While much of the public discourse focuses on aircraft numbers and hardware, experts argue that the most critical variable remains strategic communication. Misunderstandings or miscalculations between regional actors could have serious consequences. Thus, dialogue mechanisms, confidence-building measures, and regional forums remain essential tools to prevent escalation. At the same time, civil society, academic institutions, and younger generations in both Japan and China are increasingly advocating for historical reconciliation and regional peace. These efforts, while often overshadowed by official rhetoric, serve as important reminders of the shared interest in avoiding conflict. In this broader context, Europe, Australia, and other global stakeholders have taken greater interest in East Asia's security landscape. The Indo-Pacific has become a theater of strategic convergence, with powers such as the UK and France deploying naval assets, and NATO expressing interest in strengthening ties with regional allies. This reflects a growing recognition that regional instability in Asia could have far-reaching implications for global trade, security, and governance. As China continues to expand its defense capabilities and Japan reassesses its strategic role, the challenge for both nations, and their international partners, is to navigate these changes without triggering unintended confrontation. Strategic rivalry does not inevitably lead to conflict. Through careful diplomacy, transparent military development, and mutual recognition of core interests, it is possible to chart a path that avoids the pitfalls of the past. For this to occur, all parties must resist the temptation to rely solely on power projection and instead invest in long-term trust building. East Asia's future will be shaped not only by weapons or aircraft counts, but by the choices its leaders make in pursuit of stability, peace, and national security. With the world watching, the region's next steps will echo far beyond its borders.